underworld. A place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
You know what I'm going to get you next Christmas? A big wooden cross. So every time you feel unappreciated for all your sacrifices, you can climb on up and nail yourself to it.
Warning, the songs you are about to hear are intended for mature listening audiences only. If you have a weak mind or heart and don't like words like shit, fuck, or cunt, then please refrain from listening any further.
It's time for some real music. It's showtime! We have seen imitators. We've also seen duplicators. But now, it's time for the originators.
That's right, Los Angeles. You've listened to all those imitators. You've tried to get through all those horrible duplicators. But now it's time for the originators. I am your host, Jimmy Cabs, along with Lost Johnny. This is the very manic Jimmy Cabs Show.
This is also the last show of 2013.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's been an interesting year, to say the least. I think Hands Off Jenny can attest to that.
Yeah, welcome back there, Hands Off Jenny. You just came back from, what, Guatemala?
Yes, I did.
How did you enjoy your vacation?
The vacation was wonderful.
A little rusty there, huh, darling?
I'm a little rusty right now, but once I get back in the hang of things, I'll be better.
I got to tell you, it's great to have you back. I forgot how lovely you are. But do you like our new addition to our staff here? Have you met Gonorrhea Tony?
I don't think I have. I think you've said you talked about him, I believe.
Yeah,
but
so
You might want to stay behind the glass.
Yeah, so Gonorrhea Tony, you see that lovely lady right there? You got to stay like about fucking 20 feet away from her at all times.
wherever you are, that's perfect.
Before it gets legal. I'm kidding.
I authorized Mr. X to kick all you fuckers out of there. Okay, so.
By the way, Mr. X did a stellar job.
He did a
Jenny's
fantastic
absence.
job. Let's salute.
I'm glad.
All right, man. I got to tell you, speaking of the Christmas fucking thing, how was your Christmas, Lost Johnny?
Sedate, which is what I wanted.
Really?
I didn't really do anything. I hung out with the family, did my run.
You hung out with the family?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't figure you for a dude hanging out with the family.
Trust me, it wasn't very long, and again, that it was thankfully sedate.
What about you, Gonorrhea Tony? What did you do? How many whores did you purchase over the Christmas fucking holiday?
I only had one for $50. It was like whatever, but yeah.
Hey, it's Christmas, dude. You gotta buy gifts.
I had a lot of people email me.
No way.
Asking me if what you were doing was a character, like a shtick. And no, you're the real deal.
I'm the real shit.
Yeah, you're Gonorrhea Tony. I don't want to be disrespectful to you.
No, you're not. You're awesome.
But you lack certain social skills that... Hands off, Jenny. If this young man would approach you like in a social setting, what would you, how would you perceive his
Dude,
approach?
she's not even checked into the question, much less trying to answer this motherfucker.
She's so not even trying to look over here.
Yeah, she's like, I'm doing my job. I'm
trying to do your pictures here, remember?
look at his teeth. Look at his teeth. All right, show the camera your teeth. Oh my God, that's so disturbing. That's
a face only $50 can love.
Now I don't want to come off like I'm already stuttering. I don't want to come off like I'm bashing you or nothing. But you know what? You're a very interesting individual, and that's why I invited you on the show. Because aside from creeping us all out, you really like. I like your approach on women. I admire that. After the show last week, we went with the Zara Skidrow to go and doll, which was a big mistake, right? Salvador Mike?
Yes.
Salvador and Mike, why don't you talk about what? Now you can talk. Fucker.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Don't remember.
I got to tell you, going out with these guys socially is really uncomfortable. It's really disturbing. But
That's saying this.
That's me saying this. But what I admired about Gonorrhea Tony is his fearlessness with approaching women. I think all he needs is just to hone it in and like really fine tune it.
Polish it.
Yeah, because I mean, what do you, when you approach women, what is it that you tell them?
Tell?
Yeah.
What's your opening line?
Yeah, the women that you're not paying for.
Okay. Hey, how's it going?
So fucking creepy.
I don't know.
Do you like Christian?
You know what I'm going to do, man? I'm going to try to find one of those social dynamics instructors. You know what that is, Los Johnny?
Yes, I do.
What do they call that? What's the pickup artist?
Pickup artists.
Yeah, I mean, they really have a really good. They do exist. It's real, and I'm going to try to find one where, like, maybe we could have him fucking hone in on your talent because you are fearless.
That has something to be said. That is a very commendable characteristic.
Because when you go to these prostitution, which is what it is. I mean, massage or what have you.
Underground economies.
It's gotta fucking like break your bank, right? Like it's gotta fucking leave you broke. Like, were you able to have a Christmas fucking?
What the fuck is Christmas?
And there's your answer, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking Gonorrhea Tony. He's fucking amazing. I like how he posts.
I'm a fan. I'm totally a fan.
I like how he posts on Facebook, like, about his adventures. You are aware that, you got to be careful with that because it is illegal. You are aware of that, right? No English? You sound like Salvador and Mike. All right. I had a horrible Christmas, man. My Christmas sucked. I must have been a very bad boy this year. Fucking my Christmas really sucked. It was, as a matter of fact, I think I have a soundbite that describes that. Why don't we play that soundbite, Jenny? Boy, she's really rusty.
Oh, boy.
All right. Mr. X, you want to help out our...
Yeah. And just sit right back and hear a tale of a fateful trip.
Yeah, darling. The one we discussed.
Nobody sent me.
It started on the tropic port aboard a tiny ship.
You're back in Los Angeles, right?
It started glitching again.
Okay, all right. Well,
we should digress, counselor.
What's going on? Do we have Jeremy on the line? What is this? All right.
Tony's burpee is more entertaining.
Hey, Jeremy, what's going on today, bro?
Hey, what's up?
First of all, let's welcome the czar of Skidrow.
Hey, now. Hey. Thank you for giving our 2013 just a bit more interest.
Yeah, this is the 2013 fucking horrible show. What's going on, man? First of all, I was going to talk about how, like, you and I have been hanging out and how disturbing my conduct's been. I went out with Jeremy the other day on Christmas Eve. He was very kind to invite me, right? And we were having beverages and stuff. And a big sign that you're having, like, a drinking problem is when you're, like, getting so wasted that you're puking everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, last week, Salvador and Mike was fucking decorating the streets of downtown LA with his vomit. And then... Jeremy, does it bother you when you take us to these nice places? I guess to like try to turn us on to these nice places.
The culture.
Yeah, the culture, different types of food. I don't even recall where you took us. All I know is that apparently fucking myself and my date were vomiting all over the place.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, I mean, I took us to a Korean restaurant. This place called To Bang. And it's not a fetish, actually. It's a Korean place. And I got yogurt soju. And you kept describing the soju as being like cum. And that's when your lady got up and ran to the bathroom. 'Cause you just kept repeating it over and over again. This tastes like cum. This is like cum.
Just the fact that I'm even...
And the girl I was with and your girl, like, they started getting queasy, and your chick ran to the bathroom like 5 or 6 times, man.
Now, does it frustrate you when you're,
Not at all.
Because we're adults, right? Like, I mean, we're adults. And you know what? I would say that we represent the station at 24 hours, which
yeah.
But, I mean, here you are going out of your way to take us these. First of all, I don't even recall walking into that establishment. I mean, the last thing I remember is being at that bar with the Thai bartender. But,
we were at a smog cutter, and the bartender was wasted, and she kept yelling out to everybody, fuck the bartender, fuck the bartender. And you were slamming Bloody Marys at that point.
Yeah, dude. That's ugly, dude.
I've been to that place before, and those bartenders are fucking... entertaining, to say the least.
Definitely.
I got to tell you, one of the things that was very disturbing was waking up the next day next to Ernest Borgnine. I mean, the chick that I was with was snoring like a fucking dude, right?
Oh my
And
God.
so I'm getting the play-by-play later on, and I'm, the flashback fucking, because, I mean, she didn't remember much of it either. And I'm like, oh, this fucking guy's taking us to these restaurants. First of all, he's ordering food that we're not even eating, right? And then, we're not even fucking, like, conducting ourselves. Like, I mean, dude, like, I'm an old man. At this age, it's not even funny no more. It's like, you're a snapper.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. Like, she's telling me, like, yeah, we went to this restaurant. You're throwing up all over the place. I'm throwing up all over the place. I was so embarrassed. So I just wanted to tell you, man, that I really appreciate you trying to fucking
E for effort.
culture us. But,
Yeah, stick to a taco truck.
yeah, I'm very disturbed, man. Did you have a good time last night at Neurosis?
Absolutely, man. That was a great show.
It was.
I want to thank Mike Scheit of Yob and also Dave Brenner of Earsplit for hooking that up, man. That show was incredible. I got to tell you, it was what a magnitude of heaviness. Every artist on that bill was amazing.
They brought it.
From Helen Money all the way to Yob was just sick.
Oh, those new songs are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I think Yob caused quite a buzz at that show, man, because I just heard everybody talking about him.
They're sick, man.
Yeah.
They have never disappointed live.
Yeah, I really want to thank again Dave Brenner and Mike Scheit of Yob. Blast was amazing, in which this is very interesting. Lost Johnny, what did we hear?
We heard the first song, Rift, by Helen Money from her latest record, Arriving Angels, which I bought from her after the show, and I did not introduce myself, but she's very nice and very cool. After that, we heard Grasping Air from Yob's record, The Unreal Never Lived. Oh,
Yeah,
it just doesn't get any heavier than this.
Today's show, aside from like the little glitches that we're having, it's an amazing show. Let me start off by saying we're going to be interviewing, we're going to have The Body on the show.
Awesome.
Are you familiar with that band, Lost Johnny?
Yes, I am. You turned me on to them, and I'm very excited. In fact, they're playing tomorrow.
Yeah, they're playing at the 5 Star. We're going to be giving away tickets for that. Also, we're going to be having a great interview that I conducted with Mike from Blast. He's going to really go into detail. I find this really ironic. They released that fantastic record, Blood, on Southern Lord Records.
Correct.
There's a lot of individuals that are under the impression that that's new material. Do you know the story behind that?
I do know the story.
I find that people are telling me that last time. I'm like, dude, what's going on with these people?
Yeah, that's a 20-year-old record that they found in a garage.
Wait till you hear the details on that.
Great story. And I'm really excited to see them at the Echo. That's going to be on the 12th, I think?
January 10th.
10th. And that's going to be with Nails, The Shrine, 16. Dude, fuck.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. So we're going to have a great interview that I conducted with Mike Nieder. And then we're going to be interviewing the man himself, the fucking sweaty legendary punk king. Why don't you tell us?
Jerry A., Poison Idea.
Poison Idea is coming to Southern California. I'm going to be giving away a pair of tickets for one of their 4 shows. They're playing 4 dates.
Down here in Southern California.
So we got a great show. Why don't we get into it? Hands off, Jenny. You're back from vacation. Let's do it.
Now let's you just drop them pants. Drop? Just take them right off.
I mean, what's this all about?
Don't say anything, just do it.
Just drop them, boy. You ever had your balls cut off, you fucking eat?
Lord.
Look at that. That's sharp, a bit of shave of hair.
Why don't you try it and see?
Delivers from all.
With all that little old bitty shirt there, too. Did he bleed?
He bled. Them panties. Take them off.
Got a deal for the mouth, ain't he?
That's the truth.
You're going to do some praying for me, boy. And you better pray good.
information is Mr. Know-It-All.
All right. Lost Johnny. What did we hear?
Oh, shit. We heard the heavy shit. Let me take a breather. Let's all focus here. We ended this set properly with Sovereign. Interesting song, new to my ears. The song is called Fangs from the record called Black Fang. For that, we heard Black Cobra out of San Francisco. The name of that song is The Crimson Blade from the record Infernal. Before that, we started this set with a double dose of Weed Eater, Good Look and Good Speed from the record of the same name, and Wizard Fight from also Good Look and Good Speed. What do these bands have in common, Cabs? Break it down.
All right, well, this is really interesting. Aside from them both having releases on Southern Lord Records, which is a fucking amazing label in itself, which is funny because every time I see Greg, I don't even want to admit this. Did you see Greg Anderson last night?
No.
Every time I see him, I'm like, I don't know whether to say hello, hi, or what. It's one of those, like, I feel like gonorrhea Tony, like, so awkward, like,
Yeah, you're not trying to fuck him, are you?
No, but I mean, the guy puts out good shit. So Weed Eater and Black Cobra, they got their last releases are on Southern Lord. I believe both bands are about to release new stuff. But this is interesting. Scion is sponsoring the Weed Eater West Coast tour.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, it starts January 14th in Atlanta, Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, Santa Cruz, San Diego, Fresno, and then, here we go, the 29th, the Satellite, Los Angeles, Weed Eater. But I believe Black Cobra's not playing that.
They're not playing. As a matter of fact, a band called Pins of Light are playing. They're a band on Jello Biafra's label, Alternative Tentacles, and they feature another band called Triclops, who I'm a huge fan of, so I'm really excited to see Pins of Light finally.
Is that the first time they've come out to the West Coast? As far as you know?
As far as I know, they've been down here twice. They're from San Francisco. They're a Bay Area band.
Oh, all right. Well, anyways, yeah. So the 29th Satellite, make sure you get out to see Dixie and Weed Eater.
It's free. All you got to do is sign up, go to the Scion AV site and fiddle around and sign yourself up.
You might want to explain that because, like, Salvador and Mike's like was asking me, like, so how do I get the tickets, kid? You sign up and it's free. Well, but what do I do? Like,
your name, email, click. When you get there, you tell them your name and then you walk in.
Oh my
and then
God.
You drink.
It's fucking incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
All right, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets to The Body. Ooh. This is an amazing band from Portland, Oregon.
God damn, Portland's got some good bands.
As a matter of fact, I believe we have Lee on the line. Lee, are you on the line? Hello? Hello?
Tony, could you burp again?
Burp.
Hey, Lee, are you on the line? All right, I guess we lost him there. So
we should change this show instead of Free Shit Sunday to Broke Shit Sunday because that's where it's going right now.
All right, so let's talk about Free Shit Sunday. We're giving away a pair of tickets right now to The Body. They're playing tomorrow at the 5-Star Bar in downtown LA. This is a show brought to you by the Elegy Ensemble. I hope I pronounced that properly. It's The Body, Sumatra, Crowhurst, Meridian. This is going to be at the 5-Star. For those of you that are familiar with the 5-Star, and for those of you that know what is up with The Body, you know that's going to be a sonic, catastrophic fucking show, dude.
Yes, you're going to double layer your ears for that one. It's going to be fucking loud.
Yeah, so why don't we play a track from The Body? Are we trying to get Lee on the phone now? Hey, Jenny, how was your vacation? Because it seems like it was very wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, you're awfully distracted.
I'm not, I swear.
She still has visions of Guatemala.
Well, you see dudes like in fucking, G-strings on the Guatemalan beach, and you get to buy those fucking...
you can see that in Huntington Park. You can also see that on Beverly and Vermont, too.
Did you like seeing those, like, look at Mr. X, like, what are you doing? Did you like seeing, like, those sexy Guatemalan dudes with the unshaven backs and the fucking G-strings on the beach of Guatemala there? Is that where your mind's at right now? You drifted?
I'm trying to keep my burrito in my mouth, dude. What's wrong with you?
Are you drifted to, like, those great pupusas with hair in them? Let's play some Body. Be the first guy to send me a message. Jimmy Cabs on Facebook. You get a pair of tickets to go see The Body. All right, let's play some Body. Hey, Lee, are you on the air there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on, dude? Thank you for being on the Very Manic Jimmy Cab Show. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Good. All right. This is very interesting. The Body is coming to Los Angeles tomorrow. You're doing 2 shows. You're playing KXLU in the morning. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think in the afternoon. I think it's like around 4 or so.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're playing there live, but that's obviously a closed set, right?
Yeah, I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's open to the public. And then you're playing later on at the 5-Star Bar in downtown L.A. You're playing for, let's see here, it's a band. You're playing for the LG Ensemble. It's going to be The Body, Sumatra, Crowhurst, Meridian. This is going to be at the 5-Star Bar. This is going to be insane, dude.
By the way, Counselor, The Body will be opening up for Neurosis tonight in San Francisco.
Yeah, you know what? We saw that show last night. How do you feel about being on that incredible bill, man?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, Yob's playing. They're really great guys. They're really good live always. Yeah, so it should be fun.
All right, you know what? Let's give a little background about the band. How long has the band been around?
About 14 years.
Wow. Yeah, like what, 1999 you guys started playing?
Yeah, that was first. Our first tour, I think, was 99.
One of the things that's very interesting about The Body is that for anyone that is trying to describe your sound, it is very, very difficult to do. I would like to say it's almost like a catastrophic masterpiece of amplification, but I don't even think I come close to that. What do you think, Luciano? You're pretty loud. You're pretty eloquent.
You pretty much spelled it out right there, man. And just hearing the songs we played, I'm like, well, yeah. Pretty much.
Now, would you say that you guys are worshipers of amplification?
No, not really. I mean, there's only 2 of us.
Go ahead.
There's only 2 of us. So in the beginning, it was more just to try to get the sound of a full band is mainly why we went for so many amps. And then it's more just trying to, I mean, if we could get our sound with less amps, we would definitely do it. It's the only way to do it.
Does it bother you that you're classified as one of those bands that is into, fucking bashing out the fucking amplification?
Not really. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, we really just try to get the kind of the cheapest stuff we can get that can get the job done. So we're definitely not like connoisseurs of like fancy stuff or like, I guess like what people usually go for as far as amps. I think we're playing. I think mostly PV. I think he has a Crate 412 chip plays through now, like a really bad one. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, is that almost on purpose? Are you getting the kind of the lower end amps as opposed to the typical Mesa Boogie kind of sound?
Yeah, I mean, once we get amps, we usually re-speaker them with like the loudest speakers we can get anyway. So it doesn't really matter what cabinet it is. Like, we definitely don't care if it looks good.
One of the things that I really also enjoy about your band is that there's a really, if you really dig deep behind the sonic decibel, there's a very uniqueness to your songwriting structure. What influences that?
I think we try to go for just like kind of simple songwriting, and then when we go to the studio, we usually add a bunch of layers because live it's different because it's so loud.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really capture that recording-wise. So we try to kind of capture the same feeling, but with different instruments. Like we have the choir usually plays with us, during the recordings.
That's incredible. Why don't you elaborate on that for those of the listeners that are not familiar with that? You guys have a choir that comes in with you guys?
Yeah, usually we record. There's a choir in Providence where we always record at Machines with Magnets studio. And our friend Chrissy, who is like one of my best friends, we used to live together for years, started a women's choir in Providence. And so every time we record, Chrissy's always on our records no matter what, but usually when we record, she gets the choir together and they come in. It varies between like 10 to like 30 of them.
Wow.
Depending on who's in it at what time. So yeah, it's pretty special.
Have you performed with this choir live?
Yeah, we actually did an East Coast tour. That was like a week, and then we did a West Coast tour, I think 2 summers ago. That was also like a week. It's hard just because their schedules are so tough, because a lot of them aren't used to like being in bands and stuff.
Yeah, they're not used to touring in a van, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, they always have fun, I think. Yeah, but just the logistics of like getting them paid like is tough. They have to rent cars but yeah, it's always really fun though.
Would you say that the true organism of your band is just the true artistic freedom? Because I mean, there's really no boundaries when you listen to your records. I mean, the fact that you're playing extremely heavy, extremely loud is just the only common factor. But it branches out to a whole other level where the listener is not only captivated by it, but you can truly see that for just, again, to remind the listeners, there's only two of you. Has there ever been a plan for you to expand to a 3-piece or a 4-piece?
No, I mean, like we'll have friends play with, like tonight and in L.A., our friend Rob, who played drums in Dark Castle, and he toured with Yob a little bit. He'll play drums with us tonight, too, so we'll have 2 drummers tonight, and like for the shows like this weekend and stuff. So we'll have friends like come do that, like play with us every once in a while, like extra drums but it's always going to be just me and Chip. But that's the kind of like the beauty of it is we can kind of do whatever we want because there's only 2 of us.
Would you say that?
And we definitely don't.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I was going to say, would you say being that it's just you and Chip, it not only is it just a really simple relationship you have where, when you have other band members aside from, them wanting to contribute and also, wanting to put their piece into it, when you have another member where you really collectively gel well, but wouldn't you say that it also enhances the sound? Because it seems that you guys really, really work very well together when it comes to playing live and also recording.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's my best friend, and we've been friends for years and years. Yeah, but when there's 2 of us, I mean, we also don't have... we also don't have... there's, like, no ego involved. So, like, even on the new record, there's songs where I don't play. There's songs that Chip doesn't really play. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter to us. Like, if Chip has an idea that he thought would be good with no drums, then I would have no problem, like, not playing drums. It doesn't matter to me.
Who's the main songwriter of the group?
Chip writes all the guitar stuff, but a lot of it is, I'll have an idea, like, I'll have a drum loop or something or a sample, and we'll base it on that. And I'll kind of play to that or something. So, but I mean, he writes all the guitar parts.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Because when you listen to your record, like I mentioned earlier, Lost Johnny, would you agree that it really, it sounds, there's such a mass to it, and then to only discover that it's only 2 guys, it's incredible, right?
The fact that you said that there's only 2 guys is fucking news to me. So that just gives me a whole nother level of respect, man. You're filling up a lot of sound with just 2 dudes.
All right, the Body is going to be playing. They're coming to Southern California. But first, let's mention this. Tonight in San Francisco. Boy, these guys, I mean, we caught this show last night. It's going to be incredible. Neurosis, Blast, Yob, and the Body. That's going to be at the Regency Ballroom in San Francisco. Then Southern California, expect the Body. For those of you that have never experienced what I already know, you need to get out to the 5-Star Bar. But they're going to be playing KXLU. You said 4 o'clock. Is this going to be like a live broadcast?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I'm going to make sure I bootleg that. Yeah, man. Okay, so make sure you pick up. This is your latest release, Christ Redeemers. That's on at a Loss Records, correct?
That one's actually on Thrill Jockey.
Okay, Thrill Jockey. What is up with new material, man? Are you writing new material? Or are you going to be releasing anything in 2014?
Definitely. We have a collaboration record we did with our friends in my band Thou from New Orleans, which we recorded last January. That'll be out soon. We also did a collaboration with the Hacks and Cloak. He's like a British producer, and that'll be out I think in March or so.
And that will be what label will that be on?
The Thou collaboration is coming out on At a Loss Records.
Okay.
And the Hacks and Cloak is coming out on the label Revenge from New York.
And what about a full length for you guys?
nothing really like planned for that. I mean, that Hacks and Cloak is a full length. We also did a record with our friend Krieg, who does like that black metal project Krieg. Are you
talking about Neil?
Yeah, Neil.
Oh, he's great. We love that dude.
Yeah, so we did a collaboration with him that Adalos is putting out probably, I would say, maybe next fall or summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think it's like 45 minutes of stuff, too, so.
Oh, man, I can't
length.
wait to hear that. That must be fucking intense. Is that in the same vein of what he's been doing with Twilight and his other bands?
No, it's kind of like more industrial, kind of like a lot of drum loops and stuff.
Right on, man. That sounds
yeah, but it turned out really good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, man. Well, let's mention this. Tonight, you're going to be playing with Neurosis, Yob, and The Blast. That's at the Regency Ballroom, San Francisco. Make sure you check out The Body. For those of you in Southern California, Angelinos at the 5-Star Bar, the LG Ensemble presents The Body. That's going to be at the 5-Star Bar. Get down there. Earlier in the day, KXLU. What show are you going to be on, KXLU?
I don't actually know.
Okay, well, 4 o'clock, make sure you tune in and check out The Body. Hey, man, I really want to thank you for being on the Very Manic Jimmy Cab Show. I'm really looking forward to seeing you play tomorrow. And despite what you say, you guys are fucking immensely loud. You guys are like a B-52 bomber just dropping bombs, dude. And I don't say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's awesome. Even though my hearing is, I'm going to be fucking having hearing loss the next day. But I'm really looking forward to fucking meeting you guys and checking you guys play, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
No worries, man. Thank you very much for being on. Make sure you catch The Body, 5-Star. And again, they're going to be on KXLU, 4 o'clock. I love this fucking band, Johnny. They're fucking amazing.
I'm already sold. I'm excited.
Hey, hands up, Jenny. Let's play Somebody. All right. I got to tell you, man, for those of you that are going to see The Body tonight in San Francisco with Neurosis, Yob, and Blast, and The Body.
Fuck. Kind of jealous. Not
You
really.
know, I got to tell you, though, I usually, like, I feel kind of, like, upset at times when I see these bills outside of Los Angeles. Last night's show was incredible.
Bulletproof.
Hell and Money was amazing. Fucking Yob was incredible. Neurosis and, of course, Blast. Like, you can't go
Again,
wrong.
I might have to say this is one of the best of 2013, and you and I, if anyone here, has seen quite a few. So definitely top 5.
Yeah, so for those of you going out tonight to the Regency Ballroom in San Francisco, make sure you catch The Body. They are opening that show. And tomorrow in Los Angeles, the 5-Star Bar, okay? Make sure you do not miss. You do not miss The Body. I like how he said that they're not like, they don't.
Yeah, everything we said was like, no.
I got
you guys are really down. No, we're not.
That band is so complex, dude. It really is. You know, like I was a little thrown off because even trying to describe their sound is not simple.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can say with 110% confidence is that they're fucking immense, and you got to see them live.
I'm excited. We're there tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Algae Ensemble presents The Body. That's going to be at the 5-Star Bar. And if you see fucking Gonorrhea Tony, make sure you say hello.
Yes, nicely and slowly.
All right, what did we hear, Los
We
Johnny?
heard some songs from The Body. We're going to start from the top. Well, there's not really much to say. There's just parentheses. That's the title of the song. Not the word parentheses, but the 2 lines. From the record of the same name. After they heard The City of the Magnificent Jewel from their self-titled record. And the last song we heard was Prayers Unanswered from their latest record, Christ Redeemers. Awesome shit, man. I cannot wait to see this stuff live.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. During the breaks, I've been having a conversation with Gonorrhea Tony, and one of the things that's really interesting about you, aside from what we've discussed on the air, is the fact that you are fearless. When it comes to approaching women, it takes a certain type of confidence for a man to be able to just approach a woman. Would you agree, Los Johnny?
Oh, yes.
You know, usually having that confidence it's somewhat
you don't learn that kind of stuff.
It's nurtured, you know. It starts with your parents telling you, you whatever, and then it goes from there. But like in Los Angeles, there's like a fake confidence, man. That's why dudes are always trying to be hip with the cars and fucking the dress or approaching fucking women and trying to impress them with this and that. And they're hip to that shit. Where's Hands Off Jenny? Would you agree, Hands Off Jenny? You're like, well, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, what?
I don't listen to you dicks.
Yeah.
Would you agree that when a man approaches you, okay, because we're trying to help fucking Gonorrhea Tony, he has an addiction with like massage parlors. He loves to get massaged.
Let's not confuse addiction with habit. That's a very big.
Would you
What
say
kind
that,
of massages are you talking about? No,
would you say that 90% of the women you have relations with are women that you pay for?
Yes, sir.
That's an addiction. Hands off, Jenny. Would you say that, because you are the only female here.
God help you.
That.
God help you.
Would you say that when a man approaches you, it takes you can cut the act, bro. Don't burp in the mic.
Sorry, Jimmy.
Would you say that it takes a certain natural confidence, and with that confidence, you have to be, witty, entertaining, bright, fun,
employed?
I don't know.
Did I go there?
Own a car.
Taxpayer, not on parole.
Doesn't that help?
I said no braces.
Talking shit now.
Hey, we're gonna give you some tough love, right? Yeah, no shit, that too.
I'm kidding.
Listen, it takes what you have. The first hump, you have it. You have the fearlessness. You approach women. You just approach them in a very creepy fucking way. You make Salvador Mike look normal.
No way. Come on. Are you serious?
Come on, dude.
Dude, he does. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to find you a social dynamics coach. Those guys are fucking incredible.
Or how about one of our female listeners? That would be a really interesting date.
Well, we want to make him syphilis, Tony, no? we want to name change him? Listen, you don't want to wake up to Ernest Borgnine snoring next to you. Trust me.
Shit.
I have my own trauma. All right. I got to... you guys threw me off with that. Okay, Blast played last night.
They were awesome.
This is an amazing story right here in itself. You know, I'm not even going to fucking go into it. Let's play some Blast. Blast has reunited with 2 new members. One of them being Nick Oliveri for... Do I really need to explain who he is?
He's a well-known, very top-notch bass player.
Right, okay.
Who's played in many a band.
Which is funny because they're playing tonight in San Francisco. For those of you listening to the show, the Regency Ballroom with Yob Neurosis and The Body. And then they're coming back January 10th, The Echo. This is going to be a great show. It's going to be with Dale, 16, and The Shrine.
Sick.
Okay.
Sick.
This is a great interview I conducted with Mike and Nieder. So why don't we play some Blast and we'll get into it. Hands off, Jenny. Take it away. All right, last night Blast played at the Observatory, and I got to tell you, it was an amazing fucking show. What did we hear, Lost Johnny?
Only time will tell.
Oh, shit. What an appropriate title. We got a great interview that I conducted with Mike Nieder. First of all, let me thank Mike Nieder for taking the time to talk to me. This is a very interesting interview, so make sure you keep your ears glued to it because it talks about the whole... Well, you know what? Let's just get into it. Hands up, Jenny. Let's do it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
All right, so this is a very Manic Jimmy Cab show, taped to broadcast. I have Mike Nieder of Blast. Dude, the last time that I saw Blast play, I believe was either late 85 or 1986 at the Anti-Club.
Was it an SST barbecue or...
You know, it had to be an SST event because all the bands that were playing that were SST bands. It was SWA, Sacred Trust, you know. But the Anti-Club...
and Blast and Londell and Swat.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Chuck Man in the barbecue. Chuckowski.
Yeah, one of the things that I remember most vividly about that show was just the power of Blast. Now, here we are. Jesus, what is it, 2 decades later, man?
Shoot, I think so.
I don't even know where to begin with this interview. The only thing that I want to say is that I'm glad you guys are doing what you're doing now.
Right on, man. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Let me start off by asking you.
A couple part 2s or part 3s with this interview.
Let me start off by asking you. It is 2013. I don't know how you feel about revealing, what we go through now at the age that we're at. But you're playing to a whole new audience, and then you're going to bring out the fossils like us. How do you feel about this new audience that has embraced Blast and your loyal old audience that is coming out for this show, man?
Oh, man, it's awesome. It's such a great thing that be able to do this again and have this opportunity. And the only thing we wish we could change is playing a little earlier to get home on time. No. It's great. It's cool. We feel the same way as we did, back in the 80s when we played. It's really a new lineup, but not much different as far as our feeling. And, it's sounding better than ever, actually, right now. It's a great opportunity, and we're stoked about it. We're getting a lot of good shows, overseas, and we never had that opportunity. So we're doing a lot of things we wish we could have done back in the day, and we didn't. So it's been great.
Are you amazed now, though, that the band is finally getting the recognition, especially because you influenced so many bands then? But are you glad now to be recognized as an influential band that created, in some cases, and helped really push the envelope with this genre that we're into now?
Yeah, it is what it is, and we're all, pumped about it, and hopefully we can do this more and more and more. But we've met so many great people during this whole thing, and a lot of them are actually the bands that exist now, and such, great people. And as, back when we played, and Fenders and Long Beach and stuff, it wasn't, you couldn't really put a label on Blast. It wasn't hardcore, punk, rock, whatever. It was just fucking heavy, and we did our own thing. And I think that's why the longevity of this, is still present.
I think one of the things that's very important that we need to mention is that back then at what we called the scene, there was a lot more freedom to really incorporate whatever you were listening. If you were listening to Sabbath and you were listening to Discharge and you were writing your own shit, there wasn't any markability in it, so you had the musical expression to do what you wanted to do. One of the things that was really, really interesting about Blast early on was just the power, dude. The rage and the power. And coming from Santa Cruz, do you think that had a lot to do with it because you were outside of the Hollywood punk scene and that whole thing? Or talk to me a little bit about back then.
Well, we came from surfing and skating and, all that aggression and energy, we just kind of evolved into playing music. And you know, fortunately, we grew up when we did and had just the best time in music ever. And, you know, we were so aggressive with skating and surfing and developing into a blast. Wherever it was, it probably would have been the same, I'd imagine. But the bands that influenced us and the skating and surfing that influenced us and all the people we knew and met, and we kind of knew what we wanted to do, you know. We just wanted to do some literal rock. That was, you know, we kind of laugh about it sometimes, talking to Cliff. It's like, sometimes, man, it's like, man, we didn't enjoy it. We were so serious and literal. We just fucking wanted to kill. And we thought, oh, you know, let's try to enjoy it this time. We started playing, and we're like, man, this is a feeling. It's not even like, you know, let's write this down and let's learn music and do this thing. It's just nothing like that. It's only a feeling. Like, we almost like, we forgot when you don't play and then you start playing, and it's like, you know, can we do this again? And we start playing, and it's like, totally, man. It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
So that's what Blast, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say it's different for everybody else. Everyone else has their own story. The Blast thing is it's a full feeling, and it's fucking heavy in our hearts. That's what matters to us, man.
I think one of the important things that needs to be also mentioned is the fact that the sincere emotion, man. I mean, there wasn't any money then. God knows there wasn't any money then, so if you had the dedication, to do it, man, and hit the road. I mean, it was a big sacrifice. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you know, it was hard. It was really hard. You know, bands, you know, it's sort of more like bands worked their asses off to help record labels, you know, pull it off with them. It was more like a team thing, where now everything's more accessible. It's a little different, but
yeah,
back then you worked your ass off, and, you know, we were on SSP, so you're racing even more label situation there, so it was cool.
Yeah, man, there wasn't any internet, and there wasn't any Decibel magazines, and none of that shit going on back then, man. It was all underground.
No cell phones either, you gotta say that. Because
yeah, no cell phones. Yeah, I think we're, like, totally, like, revealing our age. Let's talk about when you reunited with Cliff. And then we'll get into Blood, which is an amazing story in itself. Now, the band broke up in 1990, correct?
Yeah, just dismantled.
And then you guys went off and you did your own things. I mean, you know, Gargantula and Dusted Angel, and then you did your stuff as well. So you guys stayed active. It wasn't like you guys just, you know, conformed to, you know, the normal day, everyday life. You guys stayed active playing different types of music. When you got back together to play Blasto, you mentioned briefly, were you guys nervous at all? Because, I mean, those albums are so influential, and they're so timeless, and they're so protected. And what I mean by that is people cherish those records so much. Were you in any way, shape, or form nervous to, like, tarnish that history?
No, not at all. We, like I said, it's all a feeling, and it's our trip. And, you know, it's something that if we felt like it was half-assed, we definitely wouldn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
We're serious about what we do, and if we weren't feeling it, we wouldn't do it. But as far as having that, you know, aggressive, violent feeling of sincerity for Blast, if that's not there, we wouldn't do it. And it's totally there.
Yeah, right on, man. Now, let's talk about the Lost Tapes, because this is what goes into Blood. So the story goes is that you're rumbling through, I guess, a storage bin, and you found some old unreleased material.
Yeah, we have a few different ones, and, you know, we found this unreleased material that we had, which was, you know, the same era as It's in My Blood. And William Duvall came out, and he was with us for a year or so. And I'm not exact on the time, but that's what we, you know, drummed up and found, and, you know, all of us kind of went through a bunch of personal situations where we had to move, and all that good stuff. So everything kind of got lost through all the shuffle, and someone had this, someone had that, and we've, this is the tape that, surfaced. So we're like, sitting on and stuff. And I've been working with Greg Anderson for like a decade with T-shirts and stuff with my company, Rise, and we always talk about stuff, and he said, "Fuck, send that shit down to me, let's check it out." And he cleans it up and sent it to Brad Boatwright and had him up in Seattle, Washington, check it out and throw it on the reel, and
wow.
So it was really, really dirty. So we thought, okay, just toss it. This ain't gonna work. It's trash. And we blew it, whatever. And Greg said, well, let's try one more thing. Let's bake it. So, Brad went up there and baked it, and all of a sudden, I get a email from Greg saying, man, this thing is baked and it works.
Wow.
Everything is just there. So, but most of the junky 80s crap got, destroyed. And then that's what happened with the tapes. So, they survived, which was a miracle. Like, wow, man.
Yeah, literally.
Luckier than hell, man. So, yeah, that's what happened, and we have our tapes.
Wow, and so that is what resulted in what is being released now as Blood, correct?
Correct, yeah, that's what...
What a testament, dude. Wow.
Yeah, it was 26 years, pretty much to the day, man.
Oh, my
26
God.
years it survived, and, Greg told Dave Grohl about it, and he's like, bring this shit over. Let's check this out.
Dude, he's a multimillionaire. He's a state-of-the-art studio.
Well, he's the best. This is why I got my studio, to do stuff like this, and he was just stoked. And he pulled that, tape over to the 606, and
wow.
He worked on it for about a day and called us out and said, fuck, get down here, man, check this out. And so we came down for a week, and, he treated us so good. We've never been treated that well ever in our band, and it was just a bitching thing. I can't thank him enough, him and Greg, for doing that, because we just had a great time. By the end of the week, we were all just kind of, jaws were hanging, and fuck, this thing sounded like 3D rock again, just crazy. Who gets an opportunity like that? Never do. Like, you have this tape from the 80s, and you can tweak it now to make it what you really want it to be now. So it was fucking just bitching.
What's amazing about that is, again, like you mentioned, a lot of people aren't aware of this. You mentioned William Duvall. He's the frontman now for Alice in Chains, but, he jammed out with you for a bit, correct?
Yeah, that was the other part of the story, and he was It's in My Blood. He wasn't there, his guitar tracks and stuff on that recording weren't there, so to find this one, he jammed out with us for a few years, and recorded Blood with us, so to have his guitar tracks on there and, crank the shit out of those was super great.
Yeah, man. Really, what a testament, and indeed, it's a great story of, for lifers like myself and for this new generation. Now, how do you like the reaction you've been getting with the release of that?
Since, as far as I could tell, it's just been fucking great.
Yeah, man.
I think everyone, you get these reissues and you're kind of like, whatever, but once you actually listen to Blood, you just kind of can't believe it sounds so good,
Yeah.
Who could say it doesn't? It's pretty crazy. He just did an amazing job. Did it, it's crazy.
It just really leaves you speechless in a way, because it captures that moment in time so perfectly, but it's so relevant now. What I mean by that is there's so many bands that are coming out of the woodworks that, for whatever reason, they're trying to cash in on this new, market or whatever that's out with these kids. But then bands like yourselves, man, that kept it true, that just have been real, and just this miracle, dude. Because as to last that much time stored away, dude, and it's incredible.
Totally, it's crazy. That's the thing too. Just to be able to pull that off is crazy in the first place, and then to have all these great people showing some respect and stoked, and it's I can't even tell you, it's just badass. it's really cool.
All right, well, let's talk about now, because this is even more interesting. So now, you know, you have come together with Cliff, and you've incorporated some new blood so you could have the Blast lineup play live. You have Nick Oliveri, who's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, totally.
And then how do you, I don't want to, is it Haas?
Haas Wright.
Okay, Haas Wright on drums, who's known for his own contributions as well. I think he played in, didn't he play with Nick?
Yeah, he played a long time ago, and then he plays in Mondo Generator.
Yeah, Mondo Generator. These kids and people like myself are going to see you play the stage, obviously, December 28th, the Observatory, Santa Ana. That's with Neurosis, Yob, and Helen Mooney. In San Francisco, the following day, you're playing the Regency Ballroom with Neurosis, which is the heavy of the heavy, Yob, and The Body. Are you looking forward to be playing this material live, man?
Oh, totally. We're stoked about it. You know, practice, we've been jamming out and just fucking killing it, and we're feeling it. And, you know, he's just, you know, beating the drums big time, and Nick is just destroying it. So we're just feeling really good about this whole thing.
Fuck yeah, man.
And, you know, they're stoked, and we're stoked, and hopefully everyone will just dig it and enjoy it with us, man.
Yeah, now you're coming back to Los Angeles January 10th. You're going to be playing the Echo. That's with Nails, 16, and the Shrine. My God, you're playing some amazing shows, dude. Are you? You mentioned Europe. You're going off to Europe?
Right on, yeah. We're going to, as far as I know, the thing that's confirmed is Hellfest in June 21st. So that's, I don't know if you've seen that lineup yet, but it's crazy. It's like Aerosmith and Sabbath and Slayer and Soundgarden, Monster Match, tons of bands. It's insane.
I'm telling you, dude, like, who would have thought back, like, in 1985 that, like, you know, like, Dave Grohl would be jamming out with Paul McCartney. You guys are playing with Sabbath and Aerosmith. I'm glad to you know, to see it, but I mean, again, I'm tripping out, man. But what I'm really glad about is that Blood, which is on Southern Lord Records, which you mentioned, Greg Anderson's label. That's a great label in itself.
Totally.
Dude, I don't even know what to say other than I'm really looking forward to seeing you play when you're here in Los Angeles. And I got to tell you, man, timeless, dude. Just timeless.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's cool. I hope you all have fun with us, because we're going to fucking have some fun, man.
Yeah, you're going to get to see 40-year-olds fucking fuck up their lower lumbar jumping off the stage, man. Trying to do their best Fenders fucking stage diving attempts, you know?
Totally.
Mike Dieter, I want to...
scare back.
Mike Dieter, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me, bro.
Right on, Jimmy, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, man. You know what? I want to thank Mike Nieder of Blast for taking the time to talk to me. That story is an amazing testament of what will be. 20-something years in storage those tapes were, man.
Yeah. Such a random fucking, like, oh, shit, here's an awesome record in the bottom of a fucking box in a garage.
I find it amazing, though, like he mentioned in the interview, right? Like, he's going to be playing overseas with, like, Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Fucking Dave Grohl's like jamming out with fucking Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, right? Like 1985, you would have said that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude would have been like, I don't think so. I'm a punk rocker from Santa Cruz. Ain't happening.
What did we hear there, Lost Johnny?
Oh, we heard from the record Blood, as described by Mr. Blast Guy Nieder. Only Time Will Tell and Tomorrow. And to hear those songs live last night as we did, whoa.
Yeah, amazing.
Powerful.
Okay. Tonight in San Francisco, the Regency Ballroom. Make sure you catch Blast with The Body, Yob, and Neurosis. That is an amazing show right there in itself. January 10th, The Echo, Blast playing with Nails, 16, and The Shrine. This is really going to be an interesting interview. On the phone with me, I believe I have Jerry A. Jerry, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, dude? Poison Idea.
Hey.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. I'm standing outside waiting for somebody to bus station. Did I hear you say that Blast was playing with Aerosmith?
Yeah, they're playing in Europe, one of those festivals with Aerosmith. Is that crazy or what?
Wow, that's something else.
Does
Too
that
bad
mean-
they don't go toe to toe. They should go toe to toe. Blast would just blow him completely off the stage.
Yeah, I'd like to see fucking Joe Perry try to keep up with fucking Mike Nieder. That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, good luck.
Southern California. Oh, this is incredible. Poison Idea returns. Let me give out these dates real quick, Jerry. January 2nd, Pomona, Characters. January 3rd, San Diego, Brick by Brick. January 4th, Santa Ana, the Constellation Room. That's the Observatory. And January 5th, Hollywood, Loaded in Hollywood. Poison Idea returns. How do you feel about coming back to Southern California, man, and jamming out with Poison Idea?
Oh, we've always dug it there. It's always been a great place. It's pretty loaded in Hollywood, huh? That's kind of pretty funny. Loaded in Hollywood. I think the venues got changed. I think we're playing at the Screaming Midget in San Diego and the Blind Parrot in Pomona. And no, I don't. I did have the venues written down. I'm so glad that you know where we're playing because I have no idea. So that's nice.
You know, let me first start off by saying this, and I mean this with all sincerity. I mean, Poison Idea has been around since 1980. I think your band and also Wehrmacht are two of the most underrated bands from the northwestern Pacific region that, for some reason, never get the recognition or the respect that you deserve. You've influenced so many bands throughout all these decades. Would you agree with that?
You know, we're just into music that, you know, got us off and was good music at the time. And, you know, we don't want bands that taste good. We want bands with good taste. And, you know, if people happen to dig our music and stuff, that's cool because, I don't know, just hang out long enough and Wehrmacht's a great band. I mean, The Accused is a good band. Final Warning was a good band. All the shit from Seattle. But, you know, they're like, people focused on Seattle. It was under the microscope. And so everything got signed. Portland now, you know, like in the European press and stuff, it says it's like this hipster spot. You know, like the guy from the Smiths lives here. And
oh, my God.
All those, you know, those horrible, you know, weird bands. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a lot of, you know, shoegazing shit that goes on here. And so it's like the hipster capital of the world now. That Portlandia show is pretty right on. I mean, there's a bunch of assholes here. And so, but the media, you know, kind of skipped over Portland, so it's kind of like a secret, you know. We've had like our own private party going on here forever. And, you know, L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, Vancouver, there's great bands from those places. But we've just been sitting here just doing our own thing, you know, making homebrew and playing hard rock and roll. And, there's something in the water. There's the Sonics, the Kingsmen, Paul Revere and the Raiders, all that old shit, the Wipers, and it just continues with the stuff today too, I think.
Let me ask you this, Jerry. I mean, I believe it was 1983 that I got the Poison Idea demo, which coincides, obviously, I'm aging myself there. One of the things that was very interesting at that time in music, especially underground extreme music, was the fact that it wasn't marketable then. So artists like yourselves, what you were doing was being genuine. There wasn't any money to it. You were jumping in a fucking van. There was no internet. There was no, Decibel magazine. There was none of that. It was like a really organic, underground, loyal following. I find it ironic now, and I'm actually kind of curious what you have to say to this, how now your band not only has survived the decades, not only are you now being recognized, but when you have established artists, and I say this with all due respect, when you have Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, and you have what is it, Jeff Tate? Is that his name, from Queensryche?
Yep.
Yeah.
When you have all these multi-million-dollar artists saying oh yeah, we're big fucking Poison Idea fans, how does that make you feel? Because I mean, nothing's changed for you and I. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with that? And do you appreciate your original audience now more than ever, and especially now this new generation that knows everything about Poison Idea?
I think it's cool. I mean, obviously, those cats in Alice in Chains and stuff, you can tell by their music they weren't they didn't grow up listening to us, obviously, because they know how to play and stuff. And we were influenced by the stuff's going on down there. Black Flag, Middle Class, the Germs, stuff like that. Stuff that was fast, to the point. Play it and get the hell out of Dodge as fast as we can. But I'm I think it's cool. I'm happy that those people like the music and stuff. It kind of aged like wine. It gets better, I think, as it goes on. It's kind of rough to take it first because 1983, 1982, it was blew your head off, man. It was just that stuff. It was for a very selective audience.
Very selective.
17-year-old kids, and
it was not only a very selective audience, but what this generation forgets, or they'll never know, is aside from us being in this subterranean musical movement, I mean, no one understood it, especially law enforcement. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why the stuff was so fast and short. The songs were 30 seconds long because we could play them and get out as fast as we could. We didn't have time for drum solos and guitar solos. We had to do it fast and go. Before it happened.
It blows my mind that you're going to be playing. Let me get back to these dates here because this is a must right here. Southern California and San Diego. We got to mention San Diego. January 2nd, Pomona Characters. Poison Idea will be there. January 3rd, San Diego, Brick by Brick. San Diego, they're coming for you. January 4th, Santa Ana, the Constellation Room. That's going to be a great show. January 5th, Hollywood Loaded. When you're playing these, Johnny, feel free to jump. Would I be wrong to say iconic songs? To me, they're very iconic songs.
Dude, they're legendary, and they still hold up, and they're still fucking... I listen to those songs all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Timeless.
Dude, Just to Get Away, my fucking anthem. That's my middle finger, get out of bed, fuck you, gotta go to work song.
All right, we'll do that. We don't, you know what? We usually don't do that song, but we'll do it for you, just for you. How's that?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So when you're up on stage, because listen, we're not young hip cats anymore, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to openly admit this. I have like lower lumbar fucking damage. Like I was watching Blast last night. My back and my feet were hurting. I was craving fucking a taco. I mean, when you're up on stage dealing what you do and that natural adrenaline is kicking in, does it come a point in time where you're like, fuck, I got to get out of here? With all these kids jumping all around, and I mean, honestly, because we're not young kids anymore.
Well, sure, it wears you out, but it also gets you off. You know, it's exciting to do that shit. You know, it's like possesses you. It's good. You know, it always has. It possesses you. Hey, my bass player just showed up. You want to talk to her?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Throw him on the line there.
All right, hold on a second. This is Natalie. She's our bass player. She's going to be coming down there fresh off the bus from Seattle. She went up there to check out the competition and try to steal some ideas for our new songs. And I just got to hold on.
Hey, Natalie, are you on the line there?
Yeah. Hey, friendo.
Now, let me ask you this, Natalie. Now that you're playing with the legendary Poison Idea, do you feel that you got to step it up a notch? And, I mean, with this band's,
Legacy,
man.
Step it up a notch.
Yeah, like, I mean...
what are you...
Like, what are you going to do?
I did notice that everybody's menses all linked up when I joined the band. So is that what you mean by stepping it up? Like we all wear the same brand of pads now. It's great.
How do you feel to be playing with Poison Idea?
Well, let's see. It's kind of like the Greyhound bus I just got off of. It's like a cesspool on wheels.
Oh boy, that sounds about right.
You know, couples running like pigs while their children play with the open sewers and the aisleways. It's all good, clean fun.
Oh man, I love that. I could tell you're going to be very vibrant.
The show's going to be awesome. Yeah. Sold already.
It's going to be. We already played a few shows.
I mean, by the time you guys make it down here, you're going to be nice and funky, and you're going to be Greyhound funky.
Oh yeah, funky is the operative word.
Oh,
7
man.
people in one van.
Greyhound funky. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you started working on new material with Jerry A?
Hey, turn down the radio. They want to know if we've been working on new material, Jerry.
Yes, as soon as we get back, we're doing a single for Voodoo Donut.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're making a donut song, so we've worked on that.
All right. Well, you know what?
All the kids can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing you bash some kids with your bass there.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
All right.
You want to talk to Jerry?
Yeah, let me talk to Jerry, darling.
I have a question for Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah, there's this place in Portland. It's really trendy called Voodoo Donuts, and they do this single every month. And they asked us to do a single about a donut, and so they release a single of the month club, and so we're doing. As soon as we get back from LA, we're booked to go straight in the studio and kick out this single, and with 2 original songs. One's about a donut, or it could be about fudge or shit or whatever It's a double song. It's a. Yeah, it's not really it's kind of, it doesn't really beat around the bush. But, and there's an original song, too. It's a good rock and punk rock song.
Let me ask you this. I mean, there's incredible bands from that era are coming back. Like MDC's back. Lost Johnny, feel free to jump in here. I'm losing. How do you feel when you're writing new material? Do you feel intimidated because of that amazing legacy that you have with Poison Idea? Are you trying to, replicate that, or what's going on? Talk to me about the thought process on that.
No, I mean, because, the people say, why are you still doing this? And I have more reasons now to be pissed off than I did when I was 16. At least I had kind of a future when I was 16. Now it's kind of like at the end of my rope, and I'm just like singing the blues and it's like this is, and it hasn't been a fun ride. So we have a lot to scream about.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I'm not like, it's not sour grapes, but it's just that's the way it is.
I got a question.
Yeah, it's we write about what we know, and if we didn't, people would know it was bullshit, and they'd see right through it. If we wrote like love songs or songs about.
Wait, that donut song's a love song?
Yeah, the donut song, because we obviously eat donuts, so that's the truth. We write about what we know.
It can't be all aggression all the time. You got to show a heart. Yeah.
Well, there's heart in aggression too, and there's anger's an attitude, and then love's full of anger, and love's full of aggression, and it's all a circle.
Jerry, I got a question.
Like the Chinese symbol of the snake eating its tail.
Ah. Jerry, I got a question for you.
A donut eating its tail.
We got a question for you, Jerry.
Jerry, a lot of people got turned on to Poison Idea by way of the Pantera cover on the Crow soundtrack, The Badge. How did that, did that turn a lot of people on to Poison Idea just because they're like, who done this song. And, Phil Anselmo's never been one to shy to tell people about, hey, this is the stuff I listen to. This is the real underground stuff.
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it is underground compared to the Pantera audience. They obviously, probably don't listen to us. And, I listen to, crazy, Finnish hardcore that probably Poison Idea fans wouldn't listen to. And, we could cover some crazy Brazilian Ojo Seco or something that, but there's all sorts of, it's, we were honored, I think Pantera's Smokes, when they're on fire, they were unbeatable. And, Machine Head does a song by us, and they do it justice. They do a good job of it. And there's, it doesn't matter. There's good music and there's bad music, and it's all sorts of genres of music. There's good blues. There's good, rockabilly. There's good everything except ska.
All right, let me mention these dates again. January 2nd, Pomona, Characters. January 3rd, San Diego, Brick by Brick. January 4th, Santa Ana, The Observatory. January 5th, Hollywood, Loaded. Poison Idea, the legendary fucking true hardcore punk band, comes back into Southern California. Jerry A., let me ask you this question here. Now, Southern Lord Records has been reissuing The Kings of Punk and The Darby Crash Rides Again. TKO Records has also been releasing your stuff. Do you find that this new audience that is absorbing this, I don't want to say old material, classic material.
Classic.
Do you find that they really respect it more? Because I remember back in the early 80s, man. I mean, there was a loyal following, but those shows were just so incredible with other iconic bands that have, unfortunately, didn't last the test of time. Do you find that with this new audience now, not only are you being absorbed well, but it's like a second breath for you guys? Or is this, you guys have been just going on and on and on where it doesn't even factor in?
No, well, I wrote some liner notes for the last record, and I said that, when we put out the record originally, I listened to it the first time. We EQ'd it, and I was like, oh, it sounds good. And then I put it away and never listened to it again because we went on to new stuff. And going back and having to listen to it again to write the liner notes, I had to actually sit down and listen to it. And it was like listening to it fresh. It did stand the test of time, and I was like, wow, this shit's really fucking...
Yeah, it is.
Really great. It's really good shit, and I'm glad that the kids are, there's a... Hold on a sec, I'm looking for a light. I don't have one. We don't have one. Sorry. Yeah, there's bums around here. Actually, there's a crack lighter right under that. I saw some guy smoking crack about around the corner. Sorry about that. And there's a guy sitting here, too, with a sign that says, hungry, we'll work for food. And if he's hungry, there's a pile of shit about as big as a basketball right next to him, so I don't know how, for being hungry people, you sure have a lot of defecation going on here. Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to throw that on the radio.
All right. It's all right. I mean, that's the beauty of conversating with you, man.
Yeah, but being under a bridge in the freezing cold. In a Greyhound bus station with the humanity.
All right.
what you were saying is, I think it's, it stands up. It holds up.
All right.
I think there's...
All right. Well, all right. It does stand up. That's one thing that's proven here. Let me ask you this: when Tom Pig Champion Roberts passed away, how did that affect you personally? Because I mean, despite the history, the one thing that it was always apparent to me was the fact that there was a real camaraderie that you had with him. How did that affect you personally? And now that you have reorganized the band, I mean, do you in any way, shape, or do you feel any form of responsibility to keep his, I guess, legend alive?
Yeah, well, Tom, he didn't want to, he didn't want to play live anymore. He didn't like performing live. His health was too bad to perform live. The thing I really miss a lot, and I still find daily, is I'll think about some record or some band or some event, some show, and I'll want to call him up to ask him about this.
Right.
You know, who did that song with that, you know, the chorus, blah, 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 and I can't do that because, you know, him and me would, you know, we were fans, and that sucks that we can't do that anymore, but, you know, it happens to the best of them. That's one thing. No one gets out of here alive, you know? So,
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you know what? It's funny how we've aged and how even though time has passed us, mentally we're still at that young, rebellious, angst age. But all of a sudden now we know, instead of like words like fucking beer and weed and God knows what else, now we know terms like metformin and fucking cholesterol fucking shit, right? You feel me, right?
Perfect, yeah.
All right, let's mention these dates again. Los Angeles, this is very important. January 5th, Hollywood, Loaded. Do not miss the Legends Poison Ideas. Orange County, January 4th, Santa Ana, The Observatory. January 3rd, San Diego, Brick by Brick. Pomona, January 2nd. All these shows are brought to you by the Poor Kids. This is fucking incredible. Poison Idea comes back to Southern California. You know the dates. Don't miss them. We're going to be giving away a pair of tickets right now for the January 5th Hollywood Loaded show. That's going to be sick because Poison Idea in Hollywood? Fuck.
Last time I saw
All right, listen, Southern California, come out and represent and show us what you're made out of.
Yeah, right? Come out because, I mean, you guys have you have withstanded the test of time, so come out, kids.
Yeah, the last time I saw him, it was at the Cobalt Cafe up in the valley, and it went off, man. It was a fucking great show.
Right on. Jerry A., I want to thank you so much for being on the Very Matic Jimmy Cab Show. I'm really looking forward to seeing you play, man. And from one older underground guy to another, watch the cholesterol, because trust me, bro, it does creep up on you, man. I know personally.
Yeah, mine's pretty good in check. It's getting better.
Yeah, and you know what? Why don't you have Jerry Cantrell or Jeff Tate or all these other fucking Northwest Pacific fucking established artists? If they love Poison Ideas so much, they wouldn't have them write you a couple of checks, man. You know, right? I agree with that, man.
Hey, I'll jump up on stage and sing, you know, fucking Ride the Bub with them, no problem.
Thank you so much for being on the Very Matic Jimmy Cab Show, Jerry.
All right, guys, don't stop the rock.
Yeah. Cheers. Hands off, Jenny. Let's hear some fucking true Poison Idea.
Okay. Right now, as you sit and listen to me, and right now, as you watch me by television.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Where to do? Yeah, you on. Your story. Yeah, dog. I'm feeling with the stick way out of the I'm saying loud, now, loud, loud. Just trying to do what you. Yeah, Poison. Yeah, we do. And you on. Singing to it. Get us more. I'm feeling with the stick way out of the I'm still loud, now, loud with you. Just trying to do what you. Yeah, Poison. Come on, go!
You want to hear that again?
Is the tape? Don't erase that. Keep that.
All right. I want to thank Jerry A. from Poison Idea. Man, is that guy real or what, Lost Johnny?
He's the real. And again, when they come down here, they're going to be Greyhound funky because they're going to be, ugh.
All right. January 2nd, again, all these shows are brought to you by the Poor Kids. January 2nd, Pomona Characters. January 3rd, San Diego, Brick by Brick. January 4th, Santa Ana. Gonorrhea, Tony, are we going to that show? Can you drive us down the show?
If I'm sober enough, why not, right?
One beer at a time.
Yeah, I can't believe I called Gonorrhea Tony last night. Hey, can you give me a ride to Neurosis? All right, January 4th, Santa Ana, The Observatory. January 5th, Hollywood, Loaded. We're giving away a pair of tickets right now for Poison Idea. January 5th, Hollywood. Big Hollywood and Poison Idea. Doesn't that just...
It makes sense.
Oh, it's going to be a nasty...
sense.
It's going to be a nasty
And that's going to be
show.
with Attitude Adjustment and Battalion and Satan. So you know that show's going to go off.
Actually, no, it's not. But anyways, whatever. It's going to be a great show. All these shows are brought to you by the Poor Kids. If you want a pair of tickets for the January 5th Hollywood show at Loaded, send me a message, Jimmy Cabs on Facebook, right now, telling me you want those tickets.
That show's next Sunday. Fuck. Hello.
Yeah, I know.
Get with it.
Dude, is that crazy or what?
I know. Next week is the new year.
You know, one of the things that bothers me about, we were talking about this during the break, and I mentioned this to Jerry, is how like a lot of these, like I mentioned, the Northwest Pacific bands, underground bands like Vermach, The Accused,
Poison Idea.
They've been doing this thing for a long time consecutively. Maybe they've had like, certain breaks to, reorganize. But I mean, they're like at the forefront. Okay. And then, after the Nirvana fucking thing, right? All these other artists from that region, like Alice in Chains, established artists. What I mean by that is multi-million-dollar artists.
Well, you can just put that into the whole grunge explosion of that time.
They're like, all of a sudden, like now, they're like, Poison Idea was a big influence. I'm like, well, why didn't you take them on tour with you? Right?
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Or even just to wear a shirt. That'd be fucking cool.
I read is it Jeff Tate from Queensryche?
Yes.
Okay, when I read that interview where he said that he was a big fan of Poison, I'm like, no, you're not. You're just trying to be hip.
Stop being a poser.
Yeah, right? Like,
right?
But wouldn't that be awesome? Like,
well, we were talking about earlier. I mean, it's one thing to have Jeff Tate say, like, I'm a big Poison Idea fan, but I brought up to you right now, like, Robert Plant, huge Black Flag fan.
I didn't know that.
Jimmy Page, huge fan of The Damned. I mean,
did not know
all
that.
these random dudes are just Paul Stanley, big Husker Du fan.
That's amazing.
I mean, you're just like, what? It's like this, and this is the time we actually had to go out and buy the records. SST were going to kick down fucking New Day Rising to Paul Stanley. Like, he had to go out and buy that.
SST doesn't do that now.
Yeah, they still don't do that. So
no, they don't subscribe to that shit. No way. Okay, you mentioned Attitude Adjustment and Battalion of Saints. That's going to be Saturday, January 4th. That's a fucking great show right there. That's going to be at Santa Ana, the Observatory, the Constellation Room. All these shows are brought to you by the Poor Kids. Fucking amazing.
Great way to start the year.
What a great way, right? If you want to pick up Poison Ideas records, TKO Records, man. That guy, I believe his name is Mark. Fucking amazing. TKO Records, okay? You could go to 21405 Brookhurst Street, Huntington Beach, California. All right. Also, Southern Lord Records, they re-released Kings of Punk and Darby Crash Rides Again. I believe once I get a hold of Phil from Despise You, I believe we're going to have some, I know we're going to have some Blast swag posters to give away. Maybe we get some Poison ID as well.
Fingers crossed. Speaking of TKO, the songs we heard were from some of those reissues. We started the song with Theme from Darby Crash Rides Again, which I have on blue vinyl from TKO, because when I bought it from Jerry the last time they were here. The song after that we heard was This Thing Called Progress from Pick Your King, another awesome fucking Poison Idea record, as part of the Fatal Erection Years compilation that Sutherland also put that out. And then there's God Not God from the Kings of Punk. Dude, I really hope they can't go wrong with any song they play because they fucking kill it.
No, they're fucking powerful tunes. And one of the things that I really like is when you see these guys play on stage.
They are not fucking around.
They're not fucking around. It's the real deal. One of the things that I miss about that era, and this goes across the board with all genres, is the true rawness of it. There wasn't any showmanship. There wasn't any, PR. There wasn't any, choreographed type of fucking windmill headbanging. It was raw energy.
On stage is where it mattered, and fucking a lot. And I have to lean this more towards the punk rock bands. It was just straight up play the songs, fucking play them hard, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
before shit happens.
Yeah, exactly, man. So again, Poison Idea, man. I gave you the dates. I'm going to have them on Jimmy Cabs on Facebook. Check out those dates. We're giving away tickets right now for the Sunday show, Loaded in Hollywood. Poison Idea.
I cannot wait. Speaking of Neurosis, next, I think this is the 11th, that Scott Kelly has another project called Corrections House, and they're going to be playing at the Echoplex. Corrections House is Scott Kelly and Mike from I Hate God.
That's right.
It's a weird sound thing going on, and Author and Punisher is opening up that show.
Oh, that's going to be a great show, man. I mean, you know what? I got to definitely check that out. Also, let's not forget, January 10th, Blast, another great band from that era coming back to fucking kick some ass with Nail 16 and The Shrine. All right, why don't we play some more Poison Idea? Hands off, Jenny. Hit it.
That was good, bro.
All right, what a fucking crazy show.
This has been a very interesting Sunday indeed.
Yeah, let me first start off thanking Jerry A. from Poison Idea. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. He was actually literally, I believe he was outside of fucking Greyhound station.
Yeah.
Typical fucking true punk rock man.
Yeah. Hey, when you're on tour, man, wherever you can go.
Yeah, let me thank Jerry A. from Poison Idea. Then I want to thank, God, I hope I pronounce this right, Lee Buford?
Lee Buford
from The Body. The Body is going to be playing tomorrow at the 5 Star. Make sure you go out and check out what we already know.
And they're also playing tonight with Neurosis in San Francisco, so
that's
get
right.
there early.
And then we mentioned the Poison Idea dates. Do I need to mention them again, kids? Do I?
Let's save it to the end.
Yeah, let's save it to the end. Then I also want to thank Mike Nieder of Blast. I thought that was a fucking incredible interview, and I love the story of how he found the tapes 20-something years later.
Oh, my God.
They ended up being Greg Anderson grabs them. Gives them to fucking, Dave Grohl, and he has a state-of-the-art studio, and he made that happen. That Blood record is 20-something years old. It's incredible.
Awesome, man. So we heard some songs, some old songs. Hopefully some songs that will be played live in the coming days. We started the set with Death Wish Kids. Again, classic Poison Idea from the Kings of Punk record. After that, we heard Battalion of Saints, My Mind's Disease. Kind of sounds like the three of you guys in here. From the record, The Second Coming. After that, we heard the Bay Area's Attitude Adjustment, No Way Back from the record of the same name. And we ended this song from Poison Idea, the song Self Abuse, from the record Pick Your King / part of the compilation album The Fatal Erection Years that Southern Lord put out. And by the way, all this fun stuff is on vinyl, kids. So
yeah, let's also mention TKO Records.
TKO put all that stuff out too.
Yeah, so make sure you go to Southern Lord Records and TKO Records.
And if you want to get real gangster, you can check out Tang Records website because they put out all the early Poison Idea stuff as well.
Wow, that's really old school right there. All right, it was funny because we were talking during the break about,
amongst other things,
Gonorrhea Tony. What a way to end the year. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everything you're doing for me, man.
This is the voice that's going to be talking to some poor girl tonight or in the coming days. I want to see this so bad.
Hands off, Jenny. Aren't you glad you're in a relationship?
Don't you have any friends?
No.
Is there any way we could set up like a dating game with your friends? With Gonorrhea Tony?
He's got a job.
I got a job, man.
He's got a job. He's got a car.
Thank you.
I think what you need...
I'm a sober guy, dude. I don't do no drugs. No, you know what I mean? I'm a sober, clean dude.
He works with kids, for Christ's sakes. I mean, that's not a selling point.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Because you've been gone.
What do you do? Are you going to call me Gonorrhea Jenny?
No.
I'm sorry. It's a burn, calves.
Sorry about that. Hands off, Jenny. Did you know that? That is so fucked up. Hands off, Jenny. Did you know that our own Gonorrhea Tony actually works with children in LA Unified? Isn't that incredible? Doesn't that make you?
I didn't, because this is the first time that we met. And what exactly do you do?
I'm a teacher's assistant. I love you, Jimmy. You are the shit, dude. I fucking love you, dude. You are the shit.
I don't think you'll be a teacher's assistant for long.
Man, what?
No, just kidding.
No, okay. he does his job.
Now, last week, we actually, we found out that Gonorrhea Tony he's not, what's the word I'm looking for here? Dangerous towards children.
Yeah, we've established that. He's actually a I don't want to say fitting, but he's a productive member of society.
Dude, I love kids, bro. They're good. They're cool.
Yeah,
At
man.
least you're not like some Korean guy that Jeremy and I confronted at a bar once, that he was trying to start fights with everyone and he was really drunk. And at the last minute, he was like, "Please don't tell the school I work for that I'm really drunk."
I mean, you know what? The fact that you work with children just really what's next? Is fucking Salvador am I going to be teaching kids fucking English? I
know.
Can you imagine?
Hey, kid. Hey, kid.
As I was talking to you personally, I think all you need really is just to get a coach to just get that energy and that, because you don't have the problem approaching women like I mentioned earlier. A lot of,
that's the biggest stumble right there, or the biggest hurdle.
That's the biggest stumble is approaching women. But you don't have that problem. It's just that your energy is somewhat threatening to women. So
I'm creepy.
Well, I mean, you're not creepy. You're just misunderstood. You know what I mean? Your energy is just a little more potent, right?
There's a lot of heat over there.
So if we kind of get you a social dynamics coach and kind of guide you in a way, then, a couple of months, fucking, you'll be spending money on prostitutes.
Jimmy
Just kidding. All right,
man.
What a way to end the year, right? Hands
yeah,
off,
this
Jenny?
is let's not end it on an awkward note. Let's play some music and then kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, let's end the year. 2013 has been somewhat of an interesting year, man. A lot of really tragic deaths. Obviously,
Jeff Hanneman.
Yeah, Jeff Hanneman. Let's not also forget,
Lou Reed, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela, Lou Reed.
I'm just trying to rattle off names.
I was going to say James, how do you pronounce his like Gandolfini?
James Gandolfini.
Yeah, Gandolfini. Let's not also forget Kevin McDade for Behold the Monolith.
Oh, man.
Which really hits home.
Yeah, that stings.
Yeah, it's been a very, very weird year. But we want to thank all of you for listening. Obviously, we came from one station to another. We really feel at home here. Where else can I have fucking Salvador and Mike and Gunner and Tony on the same fucking room and
thank you, Jimmy,
not
for
get
having
thrown
me,
out,
bro.
right?
We're not threatened by police, which is fun.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna rattle off the songs that we're going to play and then kind of call it a night. So it's gonna be American Leather by the Germs. Awesome song from their record GI, the classic. And after that, we heard Religion Instigates by Discharge. Never get tired of that record. Never get tired of that band. From the record Fight Back. And Motorhead, White Light and Fever, like I have to explain. And the song White Minority from Black Flag, classic. If I got to explain it, you're fired and get out of my country. From the 7-inch EP, Jealous Again.
And what do all those songs have in common?
They're all pissed off about something, about reason. So
they also influenced Jerry A from Poison Idea.
Yes, that's true.
All right, let's...
Amongst others.
Right. Let's end the show with a nice little old school block. Thank you, everybody, for listening. See ya.
Just an innocent child, nothing's gained and nothing's solved. Religion instigates to say I'm wrong. That's another victim's life. Escapes and gunshot rounds. A slave bullet kills an innocent child. Nothing's gained and nothing's solved. Thank you very much. This next song's about, the song's for all you skinhead faggots and you new wave lesbians. And me, I kind of fit somewhere in between you. I got my fucking ass hanging out here. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But if you don't know, for all you people who just turned 7, this is our 5th year of playing in this fucking same club. Thank you very much. Where's our cake? Huh? Yeah, I'd show you my 5 hairs on my butthole for 5 years of playing this fucking place. So you think they turn on the taps and give us all free beer, right? Come on, let's do it. Well, there's a big orgy over to Heather and Cindy's house after the show. All right, Chris here happens to have a new spin. It talks about what all the punks are doing. 10 years from now, it's the 10th year anniversary, it's our 5th.
Isn't that right? It's the guy diving off a stage, man. Check that out.
That's really insane, man. That's why do people do that kind of stuff?
Check this out.
Do it. Oh, you can't read, that's right. Yeah.
Core is already not shocking anymore, says P.T. Ramon. It's been done. You really got to be good to be shocking.
And if you don't, they're out of print, but we'll sell them to you for $5. So we got a bunch of them. Thank you very much to the guy who threw the $20 gold piece at me. You missed again, but keep trying.
sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.